Alright, GENGCHEN's been out for about a day now, and I've been having an incredible time using her, and I think it is about time that I showcase my build. Now, it's not complete by any means, but it's up to snuff enough to go ahead and show you what I have on her currently, and then you can decide if you want to emulate it. I also want to give my advice and recommendation on a few things such as sigils and others, so I do hope you enjoyed today's video. I do hope you get some value from it. I'm also going to showcase some gameplay of using GENGCHEN in the new nightmare mode, which, by the way, that new nightmare mode is indeed an account check. That thing is no joke. But anyways, we'll probably talk about that more here in just a second. GENGCHEN, absolutely been adoring using this modifier, and she looks fantastic, right? She looks great. This modifier has been tons of fun to use, and I've been using it on point as like a main DPS like I said I would, and it's been working out really nice. Now, I do have her at base S rank. This is the thing that I wanted to address first and foremost, because I've been getting this question a lot. Do I need to double S rank GENGCHEN? Should I double S rank her or get her signature functor? I've been getting that question a lot, and to address that point, I've been using her at base S rank extensively. She's been performing beautifully at just base S rank. So with that being said, you do not need to double S rank this modifier. And if you're trying to decide between double S ranking and getting her signature functor, it is going to be more advantageous and beneficial to your account and GENGCHEN to get her signature functor. And we'll go more into detail about that here in just a moment. So hopefully that answers that question for you. Now, I have her fully maxed out at level 80, almost 24,000 CP. And you can see my split, 43% crit rate, 56% crit damage. Not bad. Got pretty lucky with those initial rolls, but I will be trying to min-max this. I know I say that all the time, but truly with GENGCHEN, I'm going to try and min-max this a little bit better. But to start out with, it's not bad, right? Moving over to the skills, fully maxed out. With her skills, I have a full skill breakdown video. I'll probably have linked at the end of this one that you could check out for yourself. But essentially, she just has a lot of CCing capabilities with the pulling and gathering, as well as levitating and lifting enemies, and she does some pretty good damage herself. Now, admittedly, she's probably better suited for the sub DPS role because of all the supporting capabilities that she brings with her kit, but also with her signature functor if you have it. But I like using her as a main DPS, and then I do use her ultimate skill chain with Ling Wang. Once again, with the Ling Wang Jinwoo team, which is going to be her most optimal team, you probably, if you're trying to be like meta, use Jinwoo on point and you pilot her, and then use the Ling Wang Jinwoo ultimate skill chain. But if you want to have fun and you really like GENGCHEN like I do, then this one works out nicely, and the animation is top tier. Chef's kiss with that one. Anyways, moving on to the signature functor, I was able to pull this off camera, so I was unable to get it on the live stream, but then off camera I got lucky and I was able to pull it, and I did put a transcendent in there, so it is tier 2. Fully maxed out. Now, why the signature functor is so good? Well, essentially, it's allowing GENGCHEN to do things that she can't do without it. So what I mean by that, she's going to, when this is equipped on GENGCHEN, increase the final damage of Tianwan mods by 7.5%. There in itself allows her to provide more supporting capabilities to that Tianwan team that you're going to put her in. And this is why GENGCHEN is so beneficial to Tianwan modifiers, and why she's always going to slot in perfectly into that gen zone because of the signature functor and what it's able to do for the Tianwan mods. So that's why she's very beneficial in that Ling Wang Jinwoo team. But furthermore, she increases the non-dot melee damage and range damage of Tianwan mods by 3%. Once again, fits perfectly with Ling Wang and Jinwoo. And then for enemies inflicted with stasis due to being hit by a hurled enemy, shortens their interval time of status infliction to 26 seconds. Moving on from there, she's going to boost the effective armor break inflicted by this mod on all enemies on the field, increasing the defense debuff to 7%. Furthermore, she's going to increase this mod's non-dot independent damage dealt to levitated enemies or enemies in Abysmal by 12%, which is something she naturally does, levitates the enemy, so you're going to get more damage there. And then when an enemy with mod index enters the battlefield, increases the mod index by 15%. And then after the enemy exits modified mode, increases the mod index by 8%. As you can see, the signature functor is bringing a whole lot to the table. Now, if you don't have the signature functor or was unable to get it for whatever reason, then the next best alternative will probably be her 5-star general Gen Zone Tianwan signature functor that you can put on her. But if you don't have that, like I don't for whatever reason, I think the next best option will be this 4-star one. This is the one I was using before I got her signature functor, and the reason being is because it's going to inflict additional armor break, which is going to be nice. allow everybody to hit a little bit harder. So, and you can transcend 5 this pretty easily, I believe, if you know been pulling. So I think that's going to be the next best option after the 5-star general one, and then of course after her signature functor. But you could see the discrepancy between, you know, the general 5-star one, this 4-star one, and the other 4-star one that we're going to talk about, and her signature functor. It's just night and day, right? The other one here, I think it's decent, but I don't think it's really that great for her, to be quite honest with you. It increases ultimate skill charge speed when dodge effect is triggered. I mean, once again, decent, but nothing to write home about, and I wouldn't really recommend it. And then the 3-star one increases skill damage by 6%. If you're a new player, obviously these will benefit and they will do well for the time being. But I think for the 4-star one, this is going to be the obvious choice. So those are my recommendations when it comes to her other functors, but far and away the signature functor is going to be the best one, hands down, right? Moving over to the sigils. Now this is going to be the topic of contention. We're probably going to spend a little time here, so you have been warned. Now, as you can see, I'm going with the Mermaid's Tier and the Ruler of Heavens, and you see my sigil placement, right? The recommended sigil placement, I believe, is 1, 2, 3 for the Mermaid's Tier, and then 4, 5, 6 for Ruler of Heavens. I didn't know that beforehand for the recommended. I just went ahead and started placing these in the spots that I thought it was going to be. But to be fair and frank, the 1, 3, and 5 for Mermaid's Tier, and then 2, 4, and 6 for Rulers of Heaven works out fine for me. So it's not a big deal for the sigil placements for these. But what is a big deal is whether you should be going with the new one, the Rulers of Heaven, or if you should be going with the Spartan set. Now, I've been doing a lot of testing, and I've been really looking into that extensively. And I think the Spartan set is admittedly better overall if you are trying to be optimal and if you are trying to be meta, right? I think the Spartan set's going to be better because it's going to allow you to get more rage, and then you're able to spam your skills more. Essentially, what it does for the enemies is that they're perma-locked with that skill 3, so that way they can't move, and then once again you're spamming your skills to get the most damage output. So I believe overall, and the discrepancy is not that big in my opinion. I think it's a minor discrepancy difference when it comes to damage, but the Spartan, I believe, is going to be more beneficial unless you have a really well invested GENGCHEN in terms of her being transcended to like triple S rank and maybe even Omega rank. That's when the Rulers of Heaven is probably going to be even better. It's completely up to you, whichever you prefer, but I think the Spartan is going to be more beneficial in the long run, right? So that is the sigil. Now for my skill effects, as you can see, 6, 6, and 7, a pretty decent split right there, and then you can see the rest that I have going on. Once again, going to be trying to min-max this to make sure it's a little better. I'm going to try and get that to be more like 7, 7, 7 or 8, 8, 8 if I can, you know, the usual, right? Moving over to the warps, as you can see, this is incomplete, and this is what I'm working on right now. For 1 and 2, we're going with range and executioner. For 3 and 4, this is something that I was still going to play around with, but I've been leaning towards EM Flux, and the Telepathize Force Field 1 are the ones that I've been leaning towards for 3 and 4 when I'm able to do it. And then for 5 and 6, I was going to play around with this one. I'm not too sure which one I'm leaning towards. I am kind of leaning towards the Ultimate Equation. That one is looking to be pretty decent in my opinion from what I can see. But I'm also leaning towards the Armor Breaker because damage to enemies in weak or armor break is 2.5%. This is something that you're going to be able to do with GENGCHEN, and so I'm kind of thinking Armor Breaker and the Ultimate Equation is something that I'm kind of leaning towards. So that's most likely what I'm going to be doing for 5 and 6. Once again, gonna probably play around with that a little bit and do some testing, but those are the warps that I'm looking towards. I just don't have the resources, unfortunately. Still trying to farm that up. Now for the Aether code. Once again, I mentioned that I do a main DPS GENGCHEN, right? And as a main DPS GENGCHEN, the blue one is looking very spicy. But what I have to keep in mind, and I did like the blue one was pretty beneficial for main DPS GENGCHEN, but what I started thinking is that you're using 2 other modifiers on your team, Lingwang and Jinwoo preferably, and they really benefit from the red. So I was doing some testing, and from what I can see, the red overall when you're in a team setting outputs more damage because then Lingwang and Jinwoo are able to do more damage alongside yourself. With the blue, from what I can see, it's truly only beneficial to GENGCHEN herself. So if you were trying to like solo a boss or something of that nature with GENGCHEN, then this one seems to be a little more beneficial in that type of scenario. I mean, it does have some maybe slight supporting capabilities in conjunction with the signature functor, but overall this one's going to be the most beneficial with the supporting capabilities, because you get the armor break, you're doing even additional, you know, reducing of the defense, and the attribute resistance shred for the element as well, and that stacks up to 4 times. And then you also have the sluggish that's going on, and you're extending the levitation even more. So I believe the red Aether code is the best one overall, whether you're trying to do damage with GENGCHEN or if you're trying to have her more as a support or kind of fill that in-between role, sub DPS support. I think the red is just overall going to be the best way to go, right? In a team-wide setting, this is going to be the most advantageous. So that is my GENGCHEN as a whole. Oh, and then the chips. My apologies. Chips, I'm going with Hero Breaker. I'm going with Howling Sea. I almost said Howling Sea, and then the Blasting Wind. These are the ones that I'm going with. I really do enjoy these. But anyways, once again, this is my GENGCHEN. Love using her. She's been fantastic. Let's go ahead and hop into that showcase, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name's Cody. You call me further. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.
気感謝未だ生をしいつ君の死をしせい風景そこ今日生かすこと極まる生を守ることは熱し先生お願いしますあははっ私に続くそこ行くぞ感謝遅い食らいなさい少女の熱のべつ先生お願いしますあははっ未だ生をしリズ君が死をし行くぞどう焼酎で踊れ銃の星神羅万象我に力を感謝先生お願いしますあははっ食らいなさい好きだらけね受けはっ行くぞそれ行くぞせい急進急そこ食らいなさい未だ好きだらけね水君が死を先生お願いしますあははっ感謝用意そこ生を空気遅い行くはっ食らいなさいどうぞせい先生お願いしますあははっどうぞ行くぞはあ未だ生をしいつ君が死をし行くぞ好きだらけね先生お願いしますあははっ感謝焼酎で踊れこれで行くぞせい受けよ少女の熱そこのべつな感じ行くぞ風景せいこれで食らいなさいどうこれもみんなにこれ先生お願いしますあははっ行くぞどう勢いを止めるのいかなる難題であろう解放は存在する